Hey everybody, welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm Rockin Robbie Billups, and it's time for the weekly comic book review. That's right, everybody. Thanks for checking out the video. I am Rockin Robbie Billups. This is the weekly comic book review. It's the show I read a lot of comic books, and I let you know what I thought about them, and we always start with a pick of the week, and this week's pick of the week, Giant Size Criminal, issue number 1 from Image Comics, written, of course, by Ed Brubaker, with artwork by Sean Phillips. So Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips have been doing Criminal for quite a long while now. There's a lot of criminal books out there for you to check out, including recent editions that have been re-released through Image Comics, right? Because there is an upcoming streaming series based on the work of Brubaker and Phillips on Criminal. So to celebrate the upcoming Criminal streaming series, they've released a giant-sized Criminal one-shot. And this is a perfect introduction into the world of Criminal. Now, if you've never read any Criminal before, don't worry, you can jump in and just read this. In fact, Criminal is kind of designed that way. You could pick up any single one of the books. I think there's like 7, maybe 8, maybe a little bit more. You can pick up any single one of those and it works because it's not just like one story from start to finish. It's a bunch of small stories around a shared world that take place over decades, if I remember correctly. So if you've never read Criminal and want to get the vibe and the gist of it, you can check it out right here in Giant Size Criminal. And this was just such a great story. It's about this dude they're all criminals, okay? So this dude has a job. All he's got to do is break into this dude's hotel room, wait for him to get back from a poker game, and then steal the money from him, right? But it doesn't go simple like that in the world of Criminal. As the dude's up there waiting, he thinks he's doing some cocaine. Turns out it's just heroin, and everything starts spiraling in a hilarious and also very fun kind of way after that. Sean Phillips' artwork is absolutely solid. The coloring is great. Usually Jacob does the coloring, but no, Jacob Phillips doing the coloring here. This story called The High Roller. There's also some backup stories in there about like true stories on the set of Criminal. There's some awesome information. There's a RPG Criminal game designed by Karen Gillan. So that's pretty freaking cool. It's printed on newsprint, and it's just absolutely fantastic. So Sean Phillips really gives this like noir tinge to the artwork, and the coloring by Jacob Phillips is absolutely amazing. It's everything you want in crime fiction. Ed Brubaker and Phillips deliver yet again. Giant Size Criminal issue number 1. This is by far your pick of the week. Also from Image Comics, we have G.I. Joe here with issue number 15. This is the third part of the Dreadnought War, and I've been loving what Joshua Williamson is building in the pages of G.I. Joe at the Energon universe, published through Skybound. And this Dreadnought War is the best yet. It's basically Duke and Cobra Commander in an unlikely team-up against the Dreadnoughts. And I love this more vicious, more brutal, and at times hilarious reinterpretation of the Dreadnoughts. After the crazy events of the last issue, we see where the story picks up. This is a little bit Duke-centric, but there's also got some intriguing Cobra Commander bits as well. Tom Riley's artwork is absolutely magnificent. We have some real fun, exciting, kinetic moments in this book. Also some very visceral moments. And I also think Jordi Belair is coloring the hell out of this book. G.I. Joe has been so much fun. And the Dreadnought War, 3 issues in of the 5-issue run, freaking fantastic. The best of the Energon G.I. Joe stuff so far, in my humble opinion. Then we've got Rook Exodus issue number 9. This is from Ghost Machine, but not part of the Unnamed Universe. It's its own thing. We have escaped Earth to go to other worlds because Earth was no longer able to support humanity, right? On this other planet, on this one planet, Exodus, for instance, I think that's the name of the planet. On this one planet, there's like this machine that's basically like terraforming or keeping that planet so that it can sustain human life. Well, that engine, that world engine, has failed. So a lot of people have been leaving this planet, but not everybody can. Also within this world are these individuals called wardens, right? And they have a helmet that corresponds to a certain type of animal, and then they thereby control those animals. Our main character is named Rook. He controls crows. There's a woman named Direwolf. She controls direwolves. And this is the second arc, and Jeff Johns, the writer, has been doing an insanely incredible job of building out this world, of letting us know more information about it, and even more wardings, and expanding the scale and the world. You know what? That's getting the smell of the week right there. That smells so freaking good. But now we got a warden of the spiders. We got a warden of the stags. We got lots of interesting things going on in the pages of Rook Exodus, and immaculate artwork from Jason Fabok. It's absolutely amazing. Let's jump over to Marvel, where we got a new Doctor Strange issue number 1. This is written by Derek Landy with artwork by Yvonne Fiorelli. The artwork's okay. It's fine. It gets the job done. It's serviceable. And the story is a little bit less than serviceable, at least for me. So ever since Doctor Doom took the powers of the Sorcerer Supreme away from Doctor Strange, he's been in Asgard dealing with all of that. This is picking up after that, and he is sent to the realm of Alfheim to help Angela and the other angels like hunt down some kind of like elf that they think is dead but they think is alive or something. I don't know. It's all right. I guess it's okay. It's fine. It's decent, but it didn't really do anything to make me go, wow, I'm really excited to read this Doctor Strange book, and definitely didn't set me up to recommend this book, but it wasn't all bad. It was all right. Then we've got Wiccan Witches Road issue number 1, a new miniseries. This is written by Wyatt Kennedy with artwork by Andy Pereira. Artwork's okay, story's okay. I guess it's just kind of okay. This is picking up after the events of Imperial, Wiccan, and Hulkling crash land on Earth into a mysterious part of the Earth. Wiccan's powers are seemingly gone. Hulkling's kind of taken out. There is an interesting twist at the end here, and the way that it ties into like witchcraft folklore. That was interesting, but for the most part, I don't know. It just kind of was there. It didn't really do anything ultra exciting. I like the character of Wiccan, and honestly, this book is a little bit late, right? Because it's the Witches Road, so it feels like it's meant to kind of tie in to Agatha all along. Not obviously tied in to the stuff that's going on in that series, but kind of like a reflection of it. And it feels like, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like this is like a little bit too late, but, you know, at the same time, Wiccan and Hulkling were up there in space doing their thing, so now's the appropriate time. It was okay. And I think it was, I think it was okay. Then we've got Hulk Smash Everything issue number 1. It's a new, probably mini-series, I believe. I mean, they're pretty much all miniseries from Marvel nowadays, right? But this is written by Ryan North, I do believe. This one did not work for me. I guess it's an out-of-continuity Hulk tale. It's Hulk versus Doctor Strange, because the leader, it's so stupid, y'all. It's so stupid, I would not recommend that you read this book, so I'll just tell you what the hell happens. The leader has some kind of, he dresses up as Doctor Strange. He pretends to be Doctor Strange. He goes and like slaps Bruce Banner or something, and then runs as the Hulk's chasing him, leads him to the Sanctum Sanctorum of Doctor Strange to get them in the midst of a fight so he can go steal some kind of mystical relic or something. It's just kind of dumb, and not even in a fun way. I didn't like it. I didn't really like it much at all. So there you go. Then we got Fantastic Four, issue number 6, kicking off a new arc on Ryan North's Fantastic Four run. I am pretty much a near lifelong Fantastic Four fan. I started reading this book when I was like 5 or 6 years old, and I pretty much have never stopped. I've never stopped collecting it. I'm just not liking the Ryan North run. You know, a lot of his books, they're set up to be self-contained one-shot stories, and that's cool, but most of them don't really work for me. And this starts a new multi-part story called The Invincible Woman that is meant to spotlight the powers of Susan Richards, the Invisible Woman, and we know, and it's cool to see her be treated badass. But there wasn't anything really clever or interesting to me in this issue. I mean, it's all right, but it kind of they make leaps, they make jumps, and they do weird things with science that just doesn't quite work for me, and I don't think that the voices of the characters in this issue ring true from the pen of Ryan North. The artwork by Humberto Ramos is solid. It's okay. It's not his best work, and it's not the best run of Fantastic Four. It's better than not having a Fantastic Four run. I'll tell you that. I had to go through that. But you know what? Have no fear, because even though Marvel was a little bit lackluster this week, we have X-Men: The Age of Revelation. So let's talk about these. Amazing X-Men issue number 3. This is the final month of the Age of Revolution, or Age of Revelation, and I'm very, very excited for that, because this event has an interesting enough premise, but it's not really delivering. Now, if you want to follow along with the story, all you got to do is read the stuff written by Jed MacKay, including Amazing X-Men issue number 3. Cyclops and Beast have had their consciousnesses from the present day moved into their bodies 10 years from now, where Revelation, formerly known as Doug Ramsey, is trying to take over the world, right? And the X-Men are slow to realize that that's what's going on. They're finally realizing it. They're putting people together. They're going for it. To be honest, this is the best, and I would say one of the only Age of Revelation books you want to read if you're just trying to get the gist of the story. If it's written by Jed MacKay, Book of Revelation as well, check it out. But this was just kind of okay, and the way it ends and sets up what's to come, I mean, we'll see. I'm just glad this shit's wrapping up. Then we have Age of Revelation Binary issue number 3. In this story, Carol Danvers, after the death of Jean Grey, inherits the powers of the Phoenix. It's her versus Madeline Pryor. I feel like the last issue came up with this really cheesy friendship between Jean Grey and Carol Danvers that I don't think really exists or whatever, but the ending of the book is even more frickin' cheesy. This was bad. This was bad. But it wasn't the worst of the Age of Revelation books, in my opinion. I would say that honor goes to Laura Kinney Sabretooth, issue number 3. A book that seemed decent at first, but man, this issue number 3 absolutely blows. I hated this issue. Art was bad, story was bad. Laura Kinney is now taking on the moniker of Sabretooth. She has a kid, her husband's dead. She wants her kid saved from Revelation, even though she works for Revelation. Revelation's controlling her mind, sends her after. There's all kinds of stupid shit going on. And then both of these books end so ridiculously stupid. I'm telling y'all, man. The biggest regret I have of 2025 is deciding that I want to read all the Age of Revelation books. From the Ultimate books, we have Ultimate Universe 2 years in. This is a one-shot comic written by Dennis Camp and Alex Packnadel. This is dealing, so there was an issue of the Ultimates where they introduced the Ultimate version of the Guardians of the Galaxy. This is continuing that story. They're out there. Their future is gone. They're from the future. Their future's gone since the Maker has come into their reality and changed it to his own liking, and they've been trying to save that future, recreate it. It's got some really crazy high concept stuff. Also introduces Ultimate Daredevil in not a way that I was anticipating. It was weird, it was wild, it's quite challenging at times with its high concepts. The art's a bit inconsistent because it does have multiple art teams, but they kind of structure it along with the story and so that it works a little bit better than it probably should. I love the concepts, I liked the book. I liked it. This is probably my favorite Marvel book of the week. And then we've also got Ultimate X-Men issue number 22. We are nearing the end of Peach Momoko's Ultimate X-Men run, and man, it really kicks off hard frickin' core in this book. Armor confronts the Shadow King trying to protect her fellow mutants. Really crazy stuff. I love the way that everything built up to this moment, and we still got 2 issues left. I've been loving what Peach Momoko is doing in the pages of Ultimate X-Men. That issue, no exception. Let's jump over to DC. From DC, we have DC KO Superman vs. Captain Atom. This is a one-shot comic that's part of All Fight Month in DC KO, right? So this is tied into the DC KO event, obviously. And I saw some comment on, because last week DC KO number 2 came out, which I loved, But I had a comment on the video saying that this person wasn't really liking the book because it hasn't really focused, for being basically a tournament story, it hasn't been focusing in on the fights. Well, we're just now really getting to most of these fights, because before it's been like a race to here, or go find this, like capture the flag, things like that. Now we're getting into proper one-on-one fights, and we have a series of one-shots and tie-ins throughout the whole month that are going to be focusing in on round one of these fights. Here we got Josh Williamson and Sean Izaki. It's the artist, and it's the same team of that Green Arrow run before Chris Condon came in, and we're focusing in on Superman versus Captain Atom. I had a lot of fun with this book. DC KO and DC in general, to me, is just really fun right now. And you can feel the energy and the excitement of the creators through the page, off the page, and into the reader's eyes and into our hearts. If you want to say something like that, sure. Actually, that was very authentic and very real and from the depths of my soul. Anyway, I had fun with this book. It's not life-changing. It's not like 100% essential for your understanding of DCKO or anything like that, but it does have more of a tie-in than I initially thought it would. I enjoyed this book. Lots of references to classic Captain Atom stories, classic Superman stories, and the way that Josh Williamson kind of plays with them and is having fun with them. It's like he's playing with toys, and that, like I said, that fun really comes through. So Superman versus Captain Atom, it's not 100% necessary, but it was still rather exciting. Another exciting DCKO tie-in is Knightfight, issue number 2, also written by Joshua Williamson, but with artwork by Dan Mora. The artwork in this book is absolutely insanely awesome. So in DCKO issue number 1, Batman was signed up for the tournament. He gets shanked in the back by Joker, disappears. Joker takes his place in the tournament. Where does Batman go? He goes into these other worlds in which various Robins have taken over as Batman. So he goes into a world in which Nightwing is Batman now, right? And he has to fight Nightwing as Batman in a possible future. Also in this issue, Red Hood gets involved. Red Hood becoming Batman. And when the art, okay, so Dan Moore is insane. He's a beast. Fiona Farrell on the coloring is great. So you got really vibrant colors on the Nightwing part where Nightwing is Batman, but then when it shifts to Jason Todd as Batman, you get like a white, black, and red aesthetic, and it frickin' works. The artwork is great. The exploration on Bruce and his relationships to his various sons is absolutely fantastic, and a look at a possible world in which Dick Grayson, or of course Jason Todd, become Batman, and how Bruce would respond to that. That's really interesting explorations onto these characters through the lens of an event. We also got Tim Drake and Damian Wayne as Robin, or as Batman, coming up in the next 2 issues. This is a tie-in that's just super freaking fun. This is Batman's journey throughout DCKO since he got taken out right before round 1. All right, then we got Poison Ivy here with issue number 39, a fantastic issue of Poison Ivy. G. Willow Wilson has been writing the hell out of this character. I never was on board with the idea of Pamela being like an anti-hero or a somewhat good person, or that striking that balance between good and bad, but G. Willow Wilson has made it work and made this character more rounded and more introspective than I ever thought possible in modern day comics. The artwork is absolutely solid too. Takara is back on the artwork. It's very exciting. In this issue, we are dealing once again with Janet from HR, who has this disease. She's like near death, and Poison Ivy finally makes the decision maybe to help her. I love the way it ends, and it sets up some interesting things to come. I just love this world. I love these characters. This is how you do it. This is how you take a non-A-list character that you wouldn't think typically would have an extended ongoing run and make it work. It works so freaking well. Poison Ivy is one of the best comics ongoing. I mean, there's not many ongoing superhero comics. Not really, but it's one of the best, if not the best. Seriously, it's so underrated, so good. Then we got JSA here with issue number 14, second part of the JSA Year 1. Jeff Lemire is a hell of a writer. I really like him. Not all of his superhero work at the big 2 have I appreciated, including this. It's just not working for me. I'm giving it 14 issues. The whole first 12 issues were like the big climatic finish to the JSA, and it just was like chaotic and random, and it was all right. But then after that, now we got this Justice or Society of America Year One story, but it's not operating like a true Year One. It's not introducing these characters. It's not introducing, like, it is and it isn't. It feels like it's taking advantage of the fact that you know who the JSA are. You already know who Alan Scott is. You already know who the Flash is. We're just showing you how they first met. Things like that. I mean, it sounds like it could work, but it just doesn't work. Gavin Guidry's artwork is solid, but to be honest, I think this might be my last issue of JSA. There's some intriguing things about it, but overall, I'm just not on board with it. Then we've got Absolute Green Lantern here with issue number 9. I probably would have stopped reading this book if I wasn't trying to keep up with all of the Absolute books. I really like all of them, but this is the one I like the least, right? It's got some interesting ideas. Al Ewing is actually taking the idea of the Green Lantern Corps and willpower and the mythology behind that and really putting some interesting spins and twists on it, but it's also causing the story to feel a bit disconnected and disjointed. And it's all right. There are moments where it kind of shines and some of those concepts really pop through. There are moments in this that I like. Like, I love the idea that Joe has a past relationship with Chase from the DEO. Like, that's a character I always liked. So I like that dynamic, but it's just like too much of a slow build, not enough of a focus for me, if that makes sense. Absolute Green Lantern is just kind of okay. All right, from Mad Cave Studios, we got a new one called Cyberarchy issue number 1. I was surprised by this one. It's written by Matthew Hardy with artwork by Clark Bent, Rob Jones on the lettering. I really liked this. I was not expecting much out of it. I hadn't really heard a lot of stuff about it, but it's about this world. So robots have killed off humanity and they just exist on their own, and they're near this sun or a black hole or something. They're near a sun. They're all about to die, something like that, and they're having their own, like, it's so freaking interesting, man. There's some crazy concepts, some cool stuff. So it starts off with this one robot bringing this other robot to life. And he's like, oh man, hey, your life, we've given you life. Welcome to the reality. This is what happened. Humanity's wiped out. Now we just take care of ourselves and we just do the work of making war. And it's got some really clever, yet still on the surface level, like metaphors that it's playing with, especially about society and war and the war machine and stuff like that, and just existence, right? Existential crisis and things. And I really liked it. I loved the artwork. I loved the story. It had this interesting sense of humor about it where it doesn't take itself super seriously, but at the same time, it's dealing with some serious things in a non-serious way. I liked it. I'm intrigued. If you pick up Cyberarchy issue number 1, let me know what you thought about it, because I really liked that book. All right, then we got Speed Racer here with issue number 5. This is the final issue of the first arc of Speed Racer, and it is a breakneck, action-packed, exciting comic book. David Pepose knows these characters. He knows this world. He knows what we're already familiar with from Speed Racer, whether it's the animated show back in the day, whether it's the Wachowskis movie, which I absolutely love and adore. So he takes everything that we know that's familiar about Speed Racer and he interjects it into the story, but finds a way to make it feel very fresh, very exciting. And part of that excitement comes from David Tinto on the artwork. Y'all, without an artist who can really craft intense action car race sequences, this book would not stand as tall and as proud as it does. Speed Racer is frickin' phenomenal. There you go. Also from Mad Cave, we have The Phantom here with issue number 3. And as I'm reading issue number 3, The Phantom, I'm thinking to myself, why am I reading this book? I'm reading the book because I used to read The Phantom in like the newspaper comic strips, and I love the Billy Zane movie. So if you're a hardcore Phantom fan, it's a serviceable Phantom story, but to be honest, I'm reading it and I'm like, this is kind of dull, it's kind of boring, it's not exciting. Art's okay, story's okay, character's decent. I don't know. I would only recommend this book to the most hardcore of Phantom fans, and I think by issue number 3, I found out I'm not a super hardcore Phantom fan. I think I just like that movie. I remember liking some of the comic strips when I was younger. It'd be cool to reread some of that stuff. I'm sure they're available in collected form. There's probably like 8 billion volumes of it, so that'd be hard to get to. Let's jump over to our friends at Dynamite. We got the Terminator, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, issue number 1. It's a one-shot holiday special for Terminator. How in the world is Terminator going to have a Christmas special? I was not expecting anything out of this book, and I actually had a lot of fun with it. It gives me vibes of Christmas Bloody Christmas. If you ever seen that movie, I love that movie. We covered it 2 years ago, I think, on PCP Movie Night during Holiday Horror Fest. But this is written by Paulina Ganichow, who's the writer of Maleficent. She wrote the Thundercats, Powerpuff Girls crossover, done some work on Powerpuff Girls. And so I was like, how is that going to fit with the world of the Terminator books? Because Declan Shalvey and Rory McConville, for instance, been telling some dark stories in the world of Terminator. This is right along that same vein, but it's a Christmas special. So a Terminator shows up. You know the Terminators always got to like find like a disguise. They got to blend in because they always show up nude, right? Well, this dude just looks around and Santa Claus suit. So he puts on a Santa Claus suit. So it's the Terminator running around killing people dressed as Santa Claus. I had fun with it. I liked it. Then we've got Thundercats Lost, issue number 9, the penultimate issue of this series, because 10 will be the final issue, but I hope that this team and this run does not end there, because Ed Brisson and the artist, who is the artist on this book? Elton Tomasi. I have had so much fun with this book. I actually enjoy this Thundercats book better than the mainline Thundercats book. I like Thundercats, but Thundercats Lost to me is just better. Like, I really, really like this book. One of the team has been kidnapped. They are on the trail of him, trying to find him. The villain is badass. Like, the design of the villain, the flow of this story. I think Declan Shalvey's main Thundercats book is a little bit too slow, but this one, a perfect pace, a perfect just unveiling of the story and the action. Thundercats Lost rocks. Then we got DuckTales, woohoo, issue number 9 from Dynamite Comics, and of course Disney. I love the DuckTales, Huey, Dewey, and Louie for life. You know what I'm saying? Also, Uncle Scrooge, he's all over the place. He's got a Fantagraphics book, he's got a Marvel book, and now he's over here at Dynamite doing DuckTales. If you like DuckTales, I think you'll like this series. I enjoy it. This is probably the weakest of the issues so far, but still pretty fun, still pretty interesting, and you have Doofus and Webbigail finally show up, and that was freaking awesome. So if you're a DuckTales fan, check that out. From Dark Horse Comics, we have Kill All Immortals, Volume 2, Issue number 2. This is written by Zach Kaplan with artwork by Fico Osio. Love the artwork. Osio does a really great job of like bringing a sense of kinetic quality to the pages. So this is a story about a family of immortals, right? And in the first book, the whole idea is if you kill the father, the head of the clan, then all the rest of them are now mortal and can die or something like that, right? So it's about a woman in this immortal clan deciding to go against her family and trying to take them all out and kill all the immortals. Well, how does the story pick up from there? Well, not everything is quite as it seems. Also, there are other families of immortals, including the Khan family. And I'm not talking about the Wrath of Khan. I'm talking about Genghis Khan. And that's some pretty exciting stuff. So the way that it's tied into history, Vikings, Mongols, that's some really interesting stuff. I like it. Plus, it just has a great sense of excitement and a great breakneck pace to it. Then we've got Godzilla, issue number 5 from IDW. This is Godzilla from the Kai-Sei era. This idea of a shared universe of Godzilla titles. We have Spaceship Godzilla, we have Escape the Dead Zone, and this is the proper, regular Godzilla title. This to me is the weakest of those 3, but I still like it. There is this team called G-Force that is put together to hunt Godzilla. There's this other kaiju that's shown up. There's some interesting concepts being played here. I thought this was actually the strongest issue of the Kai-Sei era Godzilla book, and I was really excited to see what's going to happen in the next issue, which they've already kind of told us is supposed to be allegedly the death of Godzilla. I won't believe it till I see it. But I thought this issue was pretty cool, and I love the artwork in it. And then from Titan Comics, we have Heatseeker Exposed, part of the Gun Honey mystery novel series, or whatever you want to call it. This is just meant to be sexy women getting naked as much as possible, also fighting each other as much as possible, killing each other as much as possible, and just being stupid and fun. There is nothing elevated about this book. Right? There is nothing significant about this book. But if you like boobs, bullets, and blood, this book is made for you. This is the final issue. It wraps it up fine enough. I've enjoyed it. Like I said, it's just gigantic moronic splendor. All right, that's what I read. Kind of a light week, but you know what? We deserve it because they've been pretty freaking heavy this week. Plus, we all need to save a little bit of bread for Christmas. So that's right, we're in the Christmas season, so everybody be excellent to each other. Now it's time to rate these out of 5 possible, you digs. What would I rate them? Heatseeker Exposed, I'll give it a 3. Godzilla, I'll give that a 3.5. Kill All Immortals, I'll give a 3.5. DuckTales, I'll give a 3. Thundercats Lost will get a 4. Terminator, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, I'll give that a 3. The Phantom, I'll give a 2. Speed Racer, I'll give a 4.5. Cyberarchy, I'll give a 4.5. Absolute Green Lantern, a 2.5. JSA, I'll go with a 2. Poison Ivy, 4.69. DC KO Knightfight, I'm going to give this one a 5. I loved that one. DC KO Superman vs. Captain Atom, I'll give this one a 3.5. Ultimate X-Men will get a 3.5. Ultimate Universe 2 Years In will get a 3.69. Laura Kinney, Sabretooth gets 0.5. Binary gets a 0.5. Amazing X-Men gets a 1.5. Fantastic Four gets a 2. Hulk Smash Everything gets a 1. Wiccan Witches Road gets a 2. Doctor Strange gets a 2.5. Rook Exodus gets a 4.5. G.I. Joe gets a 5. And Criminal, giant size it is, gets 5, you digs, and that's your pick of the week. All right, that's what I read. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm digging. What are you reading? What are you thinking? What are you digging? Let us know in the comments down below. Let's keep this comic conversation going. Thank you so much for checking out the video. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And join us over at patreon.com/PCP if you want to help support the channel. I've been Rockin' Robbie Billups. Thanks for rocking with us. Keep on reading. Station. Pop, pop. Boom!